kind of amazing when you pause and really think about it. Artificial intelligence. It isn't just some far-off sci-fi idea anymore. It's actually deeply woven into things that touch our lives every single day, often without us even noticing.
That's so true.
Think about, the medicines we take, or the systems keeping our food safe, even the tools doctors use for diagnosis and treatment. AI is popping up everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this fast integration, well, it's incredibly exciting, right?
Of course.
It promises all sorts of new efficiencies, new breakthroughs.
Yeah.
But it also adds, a significant layer of complexity, especially when you start thinking about how all these advancements are actually being regulated.
Exactly. And that's really the heart of what we're diving into today. We've got this really comprehensive document here that lays out the current regulatory thinking on AI, specifically across 3 pretty critical sectors: pharmaceuticals, food safety, and medical devices.
Yeah, that's the plan. Our mission really is to pull out the most important insights from this document for you.
And look, don't worry, this isn't going to be some dry legalistic discussion.
No, definitely not.
We want to give you a clear picture of how AI is actually being used in these vital industries, and importantly, what the regulators are doing to try and keep everything safe and effective.
Think of it as a shortcut, maybe?
Yeah.
A way to get your head around this complex but really important landscape.
Right. And we'll dig into some fascinating questions along the way, like how is AI changing the, let's face it, often super long process of discovering new drugs?
Yeah, or can algorithms actually predict, say, potential food contamination problems?
And what about surgery? What role is AI playing there?
And the big one, maybe?
Yeah.
How are the watchdogs, the regulatory agencies, actually keeping up with this pace of change?
Okay, so let's start where a lot of critical innovation begins: pharmaceuticals.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And the document really drives home how AI is, frankly, revolutionizing drug discovery and development.
How so?
Well, the key thing is that AI, specifically machine learning and deep learning, can sift through these absolutely massive amounts of complex biological data.
Okay.
And it does this to spot potential drug candidates much, much faster and on a bigger scale than, traditional methods ever could.
So instead of researchers spending years manually checking compound after compound, AI can look at how molecules might interact with targets in our bodies and even predict how they'll behave overall.
Precisely. That predictive power lets researchers quickly say, okay, this path looks less promising, and discard it early on.
Which must save a huge amount of time.
Oh, absolutely. Time and, let's be honest, a ton of money. That's a major bottleneck in drug development.
Right.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is that AI isn't just finding existing things. It's being used to actually design completely new molecules.
Really, from scratch.
Yeah, designed with specific goals in mind, like having better pharmacokinetics.
Which is how the body handles the drug, right? Absorption, distribution.
Exactly. How it gets in, where it goes, how it's broken down and removed.
Yeah.
And crucially, having lower toxicity from the start. It's a fundamental shift, really.
Wow. And this isn't just stuck in the lab, is it? The document suggests AI is also moving into clinical trials in a big way.
That's another vital area, yeah. The document talks about how AI analyzes diverse patient data, often in real time, to help pick better groups for clinical trials.
Better groups? You mean more likely to respond? Or
Yeah, exactly. This kind of smart selection, sometimes called patient stratification, can lead to more accurate predictions about who will benefit from a treatment.
Okay.
So the core idea is, by refining participant selection using AI, you can get more meaningful results more efficiently.
So more targeted groups mean faster, more reliable answers.
That's the goal. And beyond just selection, AI is streamlining recruitment, helping patients stick to the trial rules, and even spotting potential side effects or adverse events earlier. We're also seeing it used for things like picking better locations for trial sites, or shifting resources around dynamically based on the data coming in. It just makes the whole process, well, sharper, more focused.
Okay, and then let's say you have a drug that makes it through trials, gets approved. AI's role doesn't stop there, right? It goes into manufacturing too.
Indeed. In pharma manufacturing, AI is improving workflows quite a bit. One really impactful area is predictive maintenance.
Predictive maintenance, how does that work in pharma?
So AI algorithms analyze data streaming from sensors on the manufacturing equipment.
Okay.
And based on patterns in that data, they can predict when a machine might be about to fail.
Ah, so you can fix it before it breaks down.
Exactly. Proactive maintenance. It cuts down on that unexpected downtime, which can be hugely disruptive and costly. The takeaway is really about ensuring a more reliable supply of medicines.
Makes perfect sense. Avoiding those surprise breakdowns must save a fortune.
And beyond just preventing failures, machine learning can watch production parameters in real time,
Yeah.
temperature, pressure, whatever, and make tiny adjustments
Joke.
to reduce variability between different batches of the drug, which means higher yield, more consistent quality.
Okay.
The document also mentions AI-powered vision systems doing automated quality checks, like inspecting pills or vials much faster and maybe more consistently than human eyes alone,
Wow.
all helping to ensure compliance with those strict manufacturing standards, CGMP, current good manufacturing practices.
Right. Okay. So AI is clearly boosting speed, efficiency, accuracy. But what about the regulators, the FDA in the US, the EMA in Europe? How are they handling all this?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The document stresses that both the FDA and EMA are trying to be forward-looking here.
Trying to anticipate.
Yeah. The FDA, for instance, put out an AML action plan back in 2021, and the EMA has its regulatory science to 2025 strategy. Both really emphasize ongoing oversight throughout the AI's life cycle.
Life cycle, so not just initial approval.
Exactly. They're focusing on transparency. How does the AI work? And real-world performance monitoring. How is it actually doing once it's out there? Plus, managing how these systems continuously learn and update. The key insight really is that regulatory checks aren't just a one-time hurdle for AI and pharma. It's an ongoing thing.
So continuous evaluation is baked in.
That's the direction. And there's a huge emphasis on data integrity and validation. AI systems have to be rigorously tested to prove they're accurate, reliable, consistent, all according to those GXP quality standards.
GXP.
Yeah, it's the umbrella term for good practice quality guidelines. Things like secure audit trails, knowing who did what, when data traceability, proving results can be reproduced reliably.
And you mentioned transparency. The document also talked about explainability, especially for high-risk stuff. That sounds vital.
It really is. Regulators increasingly want to know how an AI reached its decision, especially complex black box algorithms.
So clinicians can understand the why.
Precisely. If a doctor is going to rely on an AI's recommendation, they need some level of understanding. It builds trust, ensures accountability, and helps manage risks. It's becoming a core expectation.
Okay, fascinating. Let's shift gears now. Let's talk about the food industry. It's pretty amazing to think how AI is being used there too for safety and efficiency.
Absolutely. And one of the really powerful areas is predictive analytics for food safety.
Predicting problems.
Yeah. AI can crunch huge amounts of historical data, past outbreaks, environmental factors, plus real-time data from the supply chain.
Like temperature sensors, things like that.
Exactly. IoT sensors are a big part of this, monitoring temperature, humidity, cleanliness. AI analyzes all that to predict potential issues before they happen.
Like spoilage or contamination.
Spoilage, pathogen outbreaks, even supply chain hiccups that could compromise safety. The big idea is shifting food safety from being reactive, dealing with problems after they occur, to being proactive.
So like an early warning system for the food supply.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And these IoT sensors feeding data to AI also help reduce human error in maintaining safe conditions, keeping things at the right temperature, ensuring proper cleaning.
Right.
Plus, all this real-time info helps food safety inspectors do more targeted, risk-based checks. They know where to focus their attention.
That sounds like a massive improvement in preventing foodborne illness. What about on the production side, in food manufacturing itself?
Well, similar to pharma, we're seeing smart manufacturing take hold. Predictive maintenance is big here too.
Again, fixing machines before they break.
Right. Analyzing sensor data to spot potential failures, avoiding downtime, preventing lost product. These systems also help companies stay on top of food safety rules, like HACCP or FSMA in the US.
HACCP and FSMA, those are the big food safety frameworks.
Yeah, hazard analysis, critical control points, and the Food Safety Modernization Act. AI helps monitor critical control points continuously, optimize resource use, keep quality consistent. It's about safer, more efficient production.
Okay. And I was really intrigued by the mention of personalized nutrition and labeling. How does AI fit in there?
Yeah, that's a really interesting developing area. AI can analyze consumer data, health profiles, allergies, diet preferences, alongside nutritional science.
To do what? Create custom labels.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Personalized product info based on your specific needs. It helps you make more informed choices, and it helps manufacturers navigate those complex labeling regulations.
So the food label becomes dynamic, tailored to me. That's quite a shift.
It is. The insight is that AI could make food information much more personally relevant and useful.
Okay. Now, what about the rules for AI in food? Is it different from pharma?
There are definitely some specific nuances. The document points out how FSMA in the US, which really focuses on preventing problems, aligns well with AI's predictive abilities.
So the FDA is encouraging this.
They are supporting tech like AI for better hazard analysis, preventive controls, traceability, making the food chain safer.
But I remember the document also mentioned challenges with global rules being different.
Yes, that's a significant hurdle. Food safety regs vary quite a bit country to country. FDA rules in the US aren't identical to, say, EFSA rules in Europe.
EFSA being the European Food Safety Authority.
Right, so if you're a global food company, implementing a single AI system that meets all those different requirements gets complicated fast.
Yeah, I can see that. And data privacy must be a big concern here too, especially with personalized nutrition.
Huge. Any AI dealing with consumer health data, buying habits, it absolutely has to comply with privacy laws like GDPR in Europe or CCPA in California.
GDPR, CCPA, the big data protection rules.
Exactly. You need user consent, you need to anonymize data properly, handle it ethically. It's crucial for trust and for staying compliant.
Okay, right. Let's turn now to medical devices, another area where AI seems to be causing some major shifts, especially in diagnostics and treatment.
That's definitely true. Medical imaging is a prime example. AI is becoming incredibly good at analyzing X-rays, MRIs, CT scans.
It's high accuracy.
Often, yes. And sometimes these algorithms can spot subtle things, early signs of disease that might be easy for a human eye to miss, leading to earlier diagnosis, better outcomes.
So it helps doctors see more.
Essentially, yes. The key insight isn't AI replacing radiologists, but augmenting them, making them more accurate, improving their workflow, ultimately benefiting the patient. It's collaboration.
Okay. And then there are remote monitoring devices, wearables and such. AI is big there too.
Very much so. AI-powered wearables continuously track vital signs, heart rate, glucose, blood pressure, you name it.
And the AI analyzes that data.
Right. It looks for trends, but also for sudden changes in real time that might signal a problem. This is huge for managing chronic diseases.
Like diabetes or heart conditions.
Exactly. It provides early warnings, potentially heading off serious events, reducing hospital visits. It's about proactive health management, powered by AI.
Almost like a personal health watchdog. And finally, robotic-assisted surgery. Sounds futuristic, but it's happening.
It is quite something. AI enhances the precision of these robotic systems, especially in really complex or minimally invasive procedures.
How?
By analyzing data in real time, making micro adjustments with incredible accuracy down to the millimeter, it reduces human error, can lead to better outcomes, faster recovery.
And the robots learn?
Machine learning helps them continuously improve their performance based on past procedures. It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, so with all this amazing tech and medical devices, what's the regulatory picture? How is this stuff getting approved?
Well, the FDA uses what they call a total product lifecycle approach,
Right.
TPLC, specifically for AML medical devices.
Total product life cycle.
Yeah, it covers everything, from the initial pre-market review and approval, through ongoing monitoring after it's on the market, and even managing updates based on real-world performance data.
And devices have different risk levels, right?
Correct. They're classified class 1, 2, or 3 based on risk. That determines the path to market. Lower risk might be a 510(k) clearance. Novel devices might use the de novo pathway, and high-risk devices need a full pre-market approval, or PMA.
And is it similar in Europe?
The EU's medical device regulation, the MDR, is also quite stringent, especially for AI software. They put a really strong focus on things like cybersecurity.
Protecting patient data.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And also human factors, making sure the device is safe and easy for people to actually use, plus robust post-market surveillance to keep tracking safety and performance.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in those specific sectors, but the document also raised some bigger industry-wide challenges for regulating AI. What are some of those overarching issues?
Yeah, there are definitely common threads. One big one is algorithm drift.
Drift, meaning the AI changes over time.
Exactly. Especially models that keep learning from new data. Their performance or behavior can shift. So regulators need ways to monitor that drift and maybe update approvals accordingly. It's tricky.
I can imagine. What else?
Yeah. Standardization is another challenge, or rather the lack of it. Different data formats, systems that don't talk to each other. It makes it harder to integrate AI smoothly across different platforms or regions.
Interoperability issues.
Right. And finally, a really complex one, defining accountability. If an AI makes a mistake or contributes to a bad outcome, who's responsible?
The developer. The doctor using it, the AI itself.
Exactly. It's a thorny legal and ethical area that regulations are still trying to figure out.
It really sounds like the rule makers are playing catch up with the tech, doesn't it? So, looking forward, what are some emerging trends? What's the future looking like for AI regulation?
Well, the document highlights a few interesting things. One is the use of regulatory sandboxes.
Sandboxes, like a safe place to play.
Kinda, yeah. They're controlled environments, often set up by regulators working with companies to test new AI innovations under supervision.
So, innovate but safely.
That's the idea. It lets regulators assess risks and benefits in a real-world-ish setting before wider rollout. Another trend is the growing importance of real-world evidence, RWE.
Data from actual use, not just trials.
Precisely. Gathering data on how AI informs day-to-day in hospitals, clinics, factories. This RWE gives vital insights beyond controlled studies and allows for more flexible, adaptive regulation.
Makes sense.
And finally, cybersecurity. As AI gets embedded deeper into critical systems, healthcare, food supply, making sure these systems are secure is absolutely non-negotiable. Protecting against attacks, safeguarding data, it's paramount.
So for the companies actually building and using AI in these fields, what's the takeaway? What strategic advice comes out of all this?
The document gives a few key recommendations. First, talk to regulators early and often.
Don't wait until the end.
No, engage with the FDA, EM, whoever, early on. It clarifies the pathway, helps spot compliance risks sooner, and can actually speed things up.
Okay, what else?
Invest in training your teams. Make sure people understand the regulatory landscape. And set up strong internal governance, good oversight, record keeping, quality improvement processes. It's about accountability.
Internal checks and balances.
Right. And the final big piece is building ethical AI frameworks. Have clear policies to tackle bias in algorithms, ensure transparency, handle data ethically.
This isn't just about rules, but about trust.
Exactly. It's essential for regulatory compliance, yes, but also for building that crucial trust with doctors, patients, consumers, everyone.
This has been, well, a really fascinating deep dive. Looking at AI regulation across pharma, food, medical devices, it's so clear AI has this huge potential.
Immense transformative potential, yeah.
But as we've discussed, that careful, adaptive regulatory oversight is just absolutely critical to make sure it's safe, effective, and trustworthy.
Couldn't agree more. Transparency, solid validation, strong ethics, those are the foundations.
Yeah.
As regulators worldwide keep evolving their approaches, that collaboration between the innovators and the rule makers, it's going to be more vital than ever.
So as you think about all this, maybe consider that balance, right? The balance between pushing innovation forward and making sure the systems affecting your health, your food, your medical care are actually safe and reliable. What questions does this raise for you about AI's future in these incredibly important parts of our lives? It's definitely something worth keeping an eye on.
Thank you, viewers, for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your colleagues. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking that subscribe button below so you never miss out on valuable insights. I'm Brian Edmonds, signing off. See you in the next one.